let's dive into a simple but honestly a pretty profound story. It's about a lighthouse keeper, his apprentice, and this powerful lesson about focus that, and this is the crazy part, has almost nothing to do with the light itself. So, picture this. We're at the Porthos Light, and our guy is a veteran keeper named Elias. He's been there for 40 years. Now, for him, the lighthouse wasn't just some bright bulb spinning around in a tower. No, he understood something much, much deeper. A principle that most people, including his brand new trainee, were about to miss completely. And this is the question at the heart of the whole story. It sounds kind of backwards, right? I mean, how could the light not be the most important part of a lighthouse? It's a real puzzle, and it's the one Elias is about to lay out for his apprentice, and for all of us. Okay, so this is where you see the two big ideas clash. On one side, you've got Finn, the young trainee. He's convinced it's all about the source, the raw power of the light bulb. But on the other side, you've got Elias, the master, who keeps insisting that the real magic is in the structure that shapes that power, the lens. And you know what? Finn's point makes perfect sense. It's just straight up common sense. If you don't have the light source, if you don't have that initial energy, what's there to even focus? He's looking at the bulb like it's the heart of the whole operation, non-negotiable. But then Elias comes back with this. He says that even a weak, dim little light, if it's perfectly focused and directed, it becomes a beacon. A super bright light scattered all over the place is useless, but a dim light that's focused, that's a lifesaver. And this, right here, is where the real lesson kicks in. For weeks, Finn is just complaining about this tedious, endless work of cleaning and polishing the glass. He thinks it's totally pointless, especially when the bulb is already so powerful. And that's when Elias finally stops him and explains what all that meticulous work is really for. So Elias breaks it down. He explains that the lens is kind of like a magician. It takes all this raw, scattered energy and gives it direction. It gives it a purpose. It doesn't create any new power, but it gathers it all up and concentrates it into one single strong beam. It turns a simple glow into a meaningful signal. And that just sums it up perfectly, doesn't it? Unfocused power is just there. It doesn't really do anything. But focused power, that has real impact. The lens is the thing that lets the light shoot its promise and its warning across that dark ocean, saving lives that it will never, ever see. So the light bulb finally goes on for Finn. He gets it. He sees the connection between raw talent and discipline, between power and focus. He actually starts to take pride in polishing that glass, because now he sees how his small, tedious actions create this massive, life-saving beam. And he's thinking, okay, cool, lesson learned. But Elias knows the lesson isn't really over. Not yet. There's one more layer to this, a deeper truth hidden in the history of the lens itself. And it's this final piece of the puzzle that changes, well, everything. And there it is, the punchline. This huge, complex, beautiful structure of glass prisms, it wasn't designed for the super powerful electric light they use now. Nope, it was engineered 60 years ago out of pure necessity to make a tiny, flickering kerosene flame powerful enough to be seen for miles. I mean, think about that for a second. It just puts everything into perspective, right? The structure, the lens, it was forged in a time of hardship, of scarcity, specifically designed to squeeze every last drop of potential out of a really weak resource. And now they've got this abundance of power with the new electric arc. And here is the really profound insight. When you take that new, abundant power and you funnel it through the old structure that was built for scarcity, the result isn't just effective, it's overwhelming. The very thing born from past necessity didn't just contain the new strength, it amplified it 1,000 times over. Okay, so what does this mean for us? Well, the lens is a metaphor, right? It's a metaphor for the structures we build in our own lives. It's our discipline, our habits, our routines, and often these are things we build when we have the least, during our weakest or most challenging times. Seriously, think about it. That discipline you learned in your first really tough job, the resilience you had to build after a big failure, the careful way you manage your money because you remember a time when you didn't have much. These aren't just old scars. They are powerful structures, ready and waiting to amplify any new strength or success that comes your way. So, I'm going to leave you with this question. Look back. Look back at those times you had to be disciplined or focused or resilient just to get by. What was the lens you built during that time? And more importantly, how can you use that old powerful structure to focus all the new light you have in your life today?